Good evening, VV Nation. My name is Ryan. Welcome to the channel. It's Wednesday evening, and boy, do I got some stock picks for you. Now, we all know an election is coming up around the corner, and there's one space in particular that has just been hot all year long. That being gold. Let's be honest, the dollar has been, attacked on all fronts here. I've put out some videos at the beginning of this year. I was looking earlier. I did one in February and in May calling for bullish momentum when it comes to gold. I talked about different factors of how, we were raising interest rates, strengthening the dollar, which typically would make gold decrease in value with a stronger dollar, right? We've all know about the correlation between a dollar and gold, but that correlation is not holding up like it used to be. So tonight's presentation, I've got 11, that's right, 11 gold plays for you. We're going to break down the charts, analyze the stocks and ETFs to see exactly which ones are most suitable for you. Now, here's a chart of the gold and silver industry. Before I even get to price action, down below, I've got the growth rate in earnings, sales growth rate, forecasted earnings per share, all on the rise over the last 6 months. And if we look at price action, you can see the pattern I have here, a little breakout. Here we've got the trend line showing resistance right around $5.55, clear trend line to the upside, consolidation taking place, ascending triangle. Now we did get a breakout to the upside of this. However, we came back down, retested this trend line, and then it's been off to the races. We see the moving averages, 3, 8, and 20-day EMAs, all in our favor. So you can see exactly why I like the space at this time. Now, here's the 11 stocks and ETFs I have for you. The ETFs I have highlighted, I've got JNUG. This is triple leverage for the Junior Gold Miners Index. I've got VanEck Gold Miners, and I've got a spot ETF here, Spider Gold Shares. So if you want to play the space in a more conservative manner, other than JNUG, these two would be great picks, GDX and GLD. If you're not familiar with triple leverage or double leverage, ETFs, wouldn't start out with JNUG. This can be pretty volatile. You can see it's the biggest one down today, right behind Andean Precious Metals at 8%. JNUG coming down at 4% right now with gold down today. As far as the stocks I have for you, if we compare price to value, all of the stocks in the list are undervalued. Kinross Gold trading at $10. We value at 15. Newmont at 58. We valued at 79. If you keep going down the list here, great bargains when it comes to gold stocks in general. In addition to that, RV relative value, this looks at long-term price appreciation compared to an alternative investment in a AAA corporate bond. So you can see the gold stocks with the potential to clearly outperform bonds over the next 1 to 3 years. Now, as far as safety rating, there's not too many stocks in this list with a safety rating above 1, a favorable safety rating. So that being said, the space in general, if we take a look here, all the stocks combined, relative safety comes in exactly at 1.00. Therefore, it's pretty neutral when it comes to safety. There's definitely safer industries and sectors out there. But again, this is gold. This is a safe haven asset for many around the world. And let's be honest, gold's not going anywhere. And if you take a look here, even from a trader's perspective, even if you weren't, long-term bullish on gold, whatever it may be, from a trader's perspective, the momentum is there with these stocks, RT values. We've got 1.43. The highest in the list right now, at no surprise, is going to be the triple leveraged ETF JNUG at 1.73. So again, this is a high momentum flyer here. So I've got quite a few different stocks. I've got lesser, penny stocks here. You can see some of these, trading pretty cheap. Otherwise, a lot of momentum plays here. It is gold in general. And there are some stocks in the list that do pay some dividends here. If we look at the dividend yield, you can see some dividend strategies can be utilized with these positions. As well, some of these stocks do have options available if you want to do covered calls, protective puts, whatever it may be, so you can enhance your trade even further. Now, let's go ahead and break down the charts to see exactly what opportunities are presenting themselves within these stocks. First up, Kinross Gold. Again, these stocks are ranked by VST, so you're going to notice some of the, the better chart patterns appearing first in the list. And as we get further and further down, they'll typically become a little bit less attractive. We'll see if that holds up, but we see Kinross Gold here. It's highest VST in the list. Nice price action, lower left, upper right. Before we get to price action itself, look at the forecasted data over the last 6 months. We've got the growth rate and earnings down below, sales growth rate, and 12-month forecasted EPS or earnings per share, all on the rise over the last 6 months, like what I see here. But as you notice, I drew 2 lines here. We've got an ascending channel. I've noticed this a lot when it comes to gold stocks. So if you want to learn a little bit more how to play ascending channels, think about putting out a video on that type of pattern itself. But essentially, look, if we're getting rejections at this line here, why would I be a buyer right at this rejection point, right? If price action is close to this line, I'd like to see a break above it to really get excited. Otherwise, on the pullbacks around either that 20-day EMA, which where we see some consolidation points at and a quick turnaround, or follow the trend line, right? And once price action breaks this trend line to the downside, the bullish run is over. Have some patience for the next opportunity. Next up, we've got Newmont Corp. You can see the ascending channel I drew here as well. Same concept, right? Every time price action is at the upper end of this channel here, that's usually when the stock is getting overstretched, right? We see several rejections here. Another rejection look like it's taking place after yesterday's high. We see gold pulling back today. So again, I'm a buyer closer to that 20-day EMA, or if I see some buying pressure at this trend line here, if price action were to drop back down, definitely great opportunity. And you can put the stop price just below it. Right now, we've got a clear level support around $50. Currently trading at 58. That's about 16% stop as of right now. Both forecasted data all on the rise. Buy recommendations across the board here. Another great gold stock to have on your radar. This is Galiana Gold, not hitting all new highs. You can see the prior high coming in $2 even. The stock's currently at $1.70. We value the stock at $2.80. This is one of those penny stocks I wanted to put on your radar. I mean, the stock is undervalued. Look at all the forecasted data on the rise. The sales growth rate is the concern here. You see it flatline over the last 6 months, -100. So that is my biggest concern. But look at the growth rate in earnings, 33%. Earnings per share is in the positive. The stock is undervalued. All the moving averages in our favor right now. Gold is down, but the stock is up, currently at 171. If I zoom into a 1 month time span, we do see some indecision with the upper and lower wick. Thus, to get some confirmation, if you're not in the stock already, take out the upper wick. The stock is greatly undervalued, so I do see more momentum to the upside. We've got a fresh buy rating in as well over the last 3 days. 3 diverging away from that 8, showing momentum still continuing. If you're not already in this position, just look for confirmation past today's high. Now here's Orla Mining. You can see the consolidation over the last 6 months, pretty range bound when it comes to its trading. Breakout above this level of resistance, now level support at 437. All the moving averages in our favor. The high came in as of yesterday at $5.15. But with gold pulling back a little bit today, it's currently trading at $5.05. However, with the forecasted data all on the rise over the last 6 months, another great stock I want you to be aware of. Now here's the first ETF. You can see the growth rate, sales growth rate, EPS all flat since ETFs don't have that data. But look, we saw consolidation here, pretty much a channel. If I draw some lines, you can see range bound between about $49 to the upside, about $35.70 to the downside. Breakout of this channel to the upside, momentum strong out of the gate. However, we do have a gap down with gold on the decline today. Buy ratings still stand, moving averages all in our favor. Still a great stock to have, but again, this is triple leverage ETF, more of a trader's perspective here. So if I'm going to use JNUG, I am going to look at that 3 and 8, just be able to capture profits a little bit quickly. This is not a long-term ETF to hold. You can hold it, but again, it's triple leverage, so it's going to be volatile in nature. So if that's something that you can stomach, so be it. Otherwise, trading with the 3 and 8 or some kind of, moving averages, MACD, just something to help capture quick momentum and profits within the trade. That's what you need for this type of ETF. Here's another low price stock currently trading at $6.73. We saw some holds and sell recommendations come in as price action did quite a bit of retracement. However, you can see since the low back in August at $4.98, price action on the rise right now. And as far as the forecasted data, good for the most part. The only thing on the decline is the sales growth rate, which is at -8 currently right now. The growth rate in earnings at 18%. EPS positive and on the rise over the last 6 months. So I do like what I see here. However, look, the momentum is starting to roll over now. But I do see an opportunity right around this 20-day EMA in the support zone. So if I see some buying pressure around this level, around this 20-day EMA with a nice bottom wick and some bullish momentum or follow through the next day, I would definitely get excited about that. Now here's a brand new penny stock to the database. We've got Andean Precious Metals. This is only the 4th day it's been traded. So this is the reason why I want to put on your radar. Again, I'm bringing you a lot of different stocks here. The stock started out with a hold, quick buy. You see the momentum to the upside. And with today's sell-off, opportunities are presenting themselves right now, $1.42. But look at the data here. Growth rate and earnings, 39%. Sales growth rate, 357. Earnings per share, positive. And for a penny stock that was just introduced to the database, that's pretty rare. And look at the valuation, $2.56. I know there's not a lot of price action or data to go off of. So if you're willing to take on some risk and you want to open up a little position and a gold penny stock, this is definitely one to consider. Now, this is the VanEck Gold Miners Index. So if you want to play a lot of these gold miners plus others. Nice price action here. Lower left to top right. A little bit of swing action in the middle, but you can see each swing giving us a new level support here over the last 6 months. I like what I see here. We've got buy and holds across the board, no sell recommendations over the last 6 months. Hit a brand new high as of yesterday. Price action, again, gold is down today, but the ETF not taking a big hit at $43.37. I like to be diversified, so this is a great ETF if you want exposure to the space in general. Here's another bottom fishing opportunity on BVN. Now, what I do like, a buy recommendation came in place as of yesterday, giving a sense that downward momentum starting to wane now. But if I want confirmation, really, I want to get price action above this resistance level here at 1432. We can see the moving averages consolidating with price action over the last few days. But if I'm going to bottom fish, I'd like to get in a company that at least has great fundamentals if I end up having to hold the position longer than expected. And look at this, growth rate and earnings, 17%, sales growth rate, 60, EPS on the rise. Again, this is the forecasted earnings per share to end today at 1.08. So a great bottom fishing opportunity. Just have some patience. I wouldn't suggest getting into it today, but look for confirmation with price action breaking above this current resistance level. Here's another penny stock, pretty low volume, so if you have a large account, probably not for you, but look at the price action, nice lower left, upper right. I'm seeing this consolidation here over the last 6 months. We switched to a 1-year chart, so this is the last 6 months of consolidation, almost like a cup and handle formation here. So I'd like to see how this handle plays out. But again, I'd want confirmation above 444. The stock currently trading at 416. Not a buyer of it today. Just, keep an eye on it. If price action breaks above this, we could get a nice run like we saw in the first half of this year. As far as the forecasted data, growth rate and earnings on the rise. The sales growth rate did decline. It's actually ending this year at 5%. Still in the positive. Earnings per share also on the rise over the last year, ending at 0.43. But look, the stock, again, undervalued here. We see the valuation at $5.89. Valuation has been on the rise. So if you're looking for an undervalued penny stock with forecasted data, for the most part in our favor, this is another great pick. And at last, we've got GLD. This is the Spider Gold Shares ETF. This is a spot ETF, so it's going to have a correlation with gold itself. So if you just want something that's fixed to the gold price, this is the ETF for you. This isn't going to be based off of the miners or anything like that. But look at the price action. Nice lower left, upper right. Momentum is definitely on our side. We've got buy ratings across the board. All the EMAs are still in our favor, even with today's pullback. And I know this is a popular ETF, so if you're already in this ETF, I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to draw a nice freehand line, keep things simple. As long as price action stays above this trend line, which it looks like it's hovering around this 20-day EMA. So I'd use either one of those just to capture profits. But again, don't overthink it and don't watch your profits go away. All right, VV Nation, I gave you a pretty diverse list of stocks. I mean, we've had some, some high relative safety, some dividend plays in there, as well as some really undervalued, low price penny stocks that you should really just have on your radar. I mean, some of these stocks got great potential to the upside. We saw the RVs. All of the RVs in these positions are above 1, showing that they're set to outperform a AAA corporate bond. Now, I hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation. And if you really just want to play the gold price itself, GLD is a great ETF to use. You saw the price chart there. It's still on the rise, momentum behind it. Now, if you like today's presentation, if you see the potential with some of these positions to make some money, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you tomorrow night.